Hello everyone, today I want to talk to you about 5 plants that you can use to get your woodland and shady gardens started. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel 90% Native. I grow native plants, I garden for the wildlife, I grow my own vegetables, and I am teaching myself to preserve those vegetables. The first plant I want to tell you about is a fern. Now, ferns are staples in woodland gardens and in shade gardens. The fern that I am going to recommend to you today is the Christmas fern. The Christmas fern is going to be evergreen, and it's just going to have beautiful bright green fronds that sprout up and then they unfurl to about, 2-foot lengths of that frond. Just beautiful, beautiful plants, evergreen, a beautiful texture. And how I like to use them is I like to group them in 3s and then pop them around the woodland or the shade garden, and then you get a really nice rhythm and effect with the Christmas ferns. The next plant that I want to tell you about is golden ragwort or Packera aurea. Now this is a absolute workhorse in my gardens. I use it to fight the invasives, I use it to cover the ground, and it is also an evergreen. I have it covering the ground of my bird garden. I'm hoping it takes over the entire bird garden eventually. It has beautiful round serrated leaves, and that's what stays a green all season long. And then in the early spring, the stems shoot up about 12 to 18 inches, and on the ends of those stems are the buds. And the buds are just a spectacular jewel purple, and they unfurl to be just a really super yellow daisy-like flower. They are so beautiful when planted in a mass, and then when those flowers start to go over, they turn into like little white cotton balls on the top of those stems, and then the wind disperses the seed similar to like a dandelion. Now, if you don't want the plant to self-seed everywhere, then cut those stems back at the base after they flower. If you want them to seed everywhere, then just let those seeds go. It's really a beautiful effect. And once the wind has dispersed most of the seeds, and if you want a more formal look, then you can cut it back, those stems down to the base. Otherwise, what I do is I just leave them and love them. If I can ask you one favor, I would love it if you guys would consider subscribing to my channel. So just simply click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button to be notified when I release new videos, and like this video if this is content that appeals to you. The next plant that I want to tell you about is one of my absolute favorite woodland plants, and it is called Jack in the Pulpit. And it has just a really tropical, unusual, neat look and habit. So this plant is going to come out of the ground in like a sheath, and it is going to unfurl its leaves. The female plants are much bigger than the male plants, and they have these really large leaves. They'll get about 2 feet tall. The ones in my yard are a little unusual. They get maybe 3 feet tall. The plant has a really distinctive bloom. It has almost like a sheath that goes around in a semicircle and then over the top, and that's called the spathe, and that is the pulpit from the name Jack in the Pulpit. In that is a spadix that comes up, and that is Jack. And it just so cool to see. But when it's pollinated, flower will turn into a big cluster of bright green berries. These bright green berries turn fire engine red in the late summer and into the fall, and the birds really love the berries. Jack in the Pulpit will form colonies, so it will spread out over time. The Jack in the Pulpits in my yard, almost, I would say 90% of them are solid green, but Jack in the Pulpits can also be striped maroon, or maybe even like a maroonish purple. And something that I almost forgot to mention about Jack in the Pulpits, they are ephemerals, so they are gonna die back. And so when you get into July, you're gonna start seeing some of the leaves starting to look raggedy. And what I do is I just go around and cut those raggedy leaves off like I would deadhead a flower. And that'll help you keep your woodland area or your shade garden looking nice, and then eventually you'll just have the stalk of the Jack in the Pulpit with the beautiful cluster of red berries. Another ephemeral that I have to tell you about is the May apple. The May apple is another super unusual plant, similar to the Jack in the Pulpit in that it's unusual, but it will emerge in the very early spring, and they come out of the ground and it looks like a closed umbrella, and as the spring progresses, that umbrella opens up into these really cool large leaves. The fertile plants will have 2 leaves. The infertile plants will have 1 leaf. In May, in the beginning of May, the May apples will bloom, and the blooms are pretty large white flowers, but they're hidden under the leaf, so you really have to get down to see them. So a good idea would be to plant them at a higher elevation in your garden bed if you have the ability to do that. And then those flowers, if pollinated, will turn over into the fruit, which is the apple part of it, and it's like a yellowish greenish apple, which after it ripens, the box turtles are supposed to really love them. Now, I've had May apples forever and I am still waiting for my box turtles to come, but I will continue to grow them because eventually I will get a turtle in this garden. And like the Jack in the Pulpit, May apples are ephemeral, so they are going to die back, especially when it gets really hot. Now, you guys know that I am not going to talk about a shade or a woodland garden if I don't bring up a grass or a sedge. And so today I am going to be recommending Seersucker Sedge. This is a fantastic sedge for your woodland. It's super low maintenance. You only really need to cut it back to about 1 or 2 inches above the ground in the late winter. A lot of my other woodland sedges I will cut back maybe 2 or 3 times in a growing season. So this one is super low maintenance. But what's really, really great about the Seersucker Sedge is that it is evergreen and that the leaves have that seersucker puckered texture to them. So it's just so unusual and so different from a lot of the other sedges because of that. The way I use sedges in my garden is you can mass them. I use sedges to line garden bed edges, but the other thing that is really helpful when you have sedges growing, and like the Seersucker Sedge, that is going to self-seed. You're going to take those little plants and just pop them into different parts of your garden where you have holes or nothing growing. And so that can fill, like your dead areas. The other thing about Seersucker Sedge, which is a little different than the other woodland sedges that I use, is that the seed head is actually really cool. The seed head is black and blonde, and then the stem that shoots up alternates between green and a maroonish color. So it really is neat and interesting when it does send up its seed heads. A lot of times with woodland sedges, they start to look raggedy when they send up their seed heads. Seersucker Sedge, definitely not. Okay guys, so those are the 5 really cool, interesting plants that you might want to try to get your woodland or shade garden started. And now I'm going to give you a bonus plant, and that is the whitewood aster, one of my all-time favorite shade plants. And whitewood aster, that's going to be blooming late in the season when very little else is blooming, and it's going to provide the nutrition for your pollinators very late in the season when little else is there to sustain them. I forgot to mention, with the whitewood aster, leave the seed heads up for winter interest, and also leave those seed heads up for the birds to eat over the fall and the winter. So those are my 5+1 bonus shady woodland plant to get your shady woodland gardens started. All of these plants, which I should have mentioned at the beginning, are actually deer resistant. So the deer do not eat these plants in my yard. Every once in a while, a deer will come along and eat the top of one of the May apples, like the leaves of the May apples, but it's rare that that happens in my yard, and it's probably just the younger deer that are doing that. Okay guys, that's it for today. I really hope that you try some of these plants in your woodland and your shade gardens. A lot of them will seed prolifically, colonize, and really take up space fast for you. So if you want to learn more about native plants, I am going to link to a recent video I did, and it's an FAQ about native plants. So go ahead and check that out. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy gardening, and I will catch you again next time.